Okay, so some people see coding as a get rich quick scheme. They put in half assed effort into programming, they're not focused, and then, surprise, surprise, they don't get any results. Whereas other people, they, decide they want to learn programming, they learn it, and they seem to get into the job market and succeed fairly quickly. I'm going to talk about what I think is the difference between these two people and why I believe most people fail to learn coding. Without further ado, let's dive into it. All right. So I remember when I first started to learn coding, I pivoted from a criminology degree. So I had a criminology degree and I pivoted to a computer science degree, and I would procrastinate every chance I got. I remember just sitting at my desk, and as soon as it was time to learn some coding, because I was already stressed out, I'm pursuing this degree, I'm going to be spending money on it, I'm going to be spending more time on it. I had to quit my job, so I had like no other money coming in. So I was, literally losing time and money in this pursuit, hoping this would work out. So, already all that stress was going on, and I was trying to basically avoid coding as much as possible because that's like an even more strenuous thing on the mind, right? So I would be context switching. So I'd use the Pomodoro technique, and every 20 minutes I'd take like a 5 minute break. But that 5 minute break would turn usually into like a 30 plus minute break, right? And I'd be doing productive tasks where I'd be like, okay, I should watch this YouTube video because it's mildly related to my programming thing. So maybe I'll learn something from this. This will be very productive, right? Yeah, not really, right? So here's one point I want to make before I even dive any further. People who think coding is like, you work for 2 weeks, then you make six figures, or they have it backwards. Okay, we don't listen to those people. Just put them to the side. We don't listen to those people. I've seen this trend in like, TikTok. It's especially TikTok. There's one TikToker, I won't call them out specifically, where they make it seem that, you just learn for coding for 6 weeks and then you get a six-figure job. It doesn't work like that. Okay, those people have it way backwards. We don't listen to them. You and I, we know better. We don't need to get into like this wishful thinking that's only gonna hurt in the long run, because 99.99999% of people won't have that experience. All right. So I want to get that out of the way. Now, one point, and probably the one thing that helped me the most, and this is where I think a lot of people fail in the programming journey, is focus on one thing, right? Like I mentioned, I was already under mental stress, and after that, I pursued computer science. If I was doing like 5, 10 other more difficult things with that, I probably wouldn't be in a position I am now where, I'm a professional software engineer. I don't think that would have happened. And I know there's going to be people out there who say, no, you can do it all, bro. You just have to be disciplined, bro. Like, whatever, man. I'm not listening to those people because I know myself, right? At that point, I wasn't like, my discipline is much better now, but at that time, my discipline wasn't good enough where I can carry like 5+ difficult tasks and follow through with them. So you need to be realistic with yourself. Knowing yourself is very important, and lay your tasks out and see, okay, can I realistically do all these tasks, right? If not, what's important to me? Coding was important to me, and if you're trying to become a software engineer, it should be very important to you as well. So that should be at the forefront. Okay, this is priority number one. Even if nothing else gets done, this has to be done every single day. I think the reason most people fail at this programming journey is they lack the focus and consistency, right? Because even with everything I mentioned about the things I got wrong, right? Where I wasn't totally focused, I was still decently focused and consistent. And within 8 months, I personally got my first job offer. And with what I know now, I think I could make it even like 4 months, right? So that's the point I'm trying to make. I was at least decently focused and consistent. So you got to figure out your priorities, and this has to be done every single day. Well, you can take days off, but you get my point. Like, it can't be sometimes you're doing it, sometimes you're not doing it. If you're serious about this has to be of high priority. And if there's other things that have to take a back seat, then they have to take a back seat, right? Be very realistic with yourself. And I believe with focus and consistency, no doubt you will be successful. And those who lack the focus and consistency, unfortunately, I don't think they will make it. And, just to really drive this point home, I used to be the type of person, because I was very motivated by seeing like these hustle culture type videos. So I was the type of person who would, I was initially not very productive, and then I'd be like, okay, starting tomorrow, I'm going to start doing everything. I'm going to meditate, then I'm going to lift, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do my coding. And maybe I'd follow through with that for like 2 weeks, and then I'd burn out and, go back to my old ways. because you're trying to change too much at once. And that's the point I'm making with this focusing on the one thing here. Be realistic with yourself and where you are in terms of discipline and everything in your life. So if some things have to take a back seat, again, they have to take a back seat. But yeah, you know, this is priority number one. And yeah, that's all I have to say about the main thing. Now, there is another important point I want to make. Be kind to yourself throughout this whole journey. And I really, really mean that. I promise you that you won't be perfect throughout it. We all have these ideologies that, you know, I'm going to go on this task. Like, for example, fitness. Some people have an ideology with fitness that I'll go every single day and I'll put on so much muscle. And usually the journey is very rocky. And I think you'll find this to be a similar thing with pursuing a career change or something like coding, you know. And I definitely experienced this 110%. I would beat myself up almost daily because at the end of the day, after having spent my, you know, 5, 6, by the way, I'm not trying to say you need to spend 5 to 8 hours studying. I just happen to have the time. After, you know, spending my day studying 5 to 7 to 8 hours, I would beat myself up at the end because I felt I wasn't focused enough, or I wasn't able to get done what I needed to get done, or I got my marks back from an assignment and they were garbage, right? And I would beat myself over all these things up constantly. I was very hard on myself. And now I have a much different perspective in life. And that's from everything that I've learned from my experience there, that being hard on yourself rarely helps you out a lot. Yeah, it gets you riled up. Yeah, you know, it gets you hyped up a little bit. But just trust me, be kind to yourself throughout this journey. I promise you, you won't be perfect, but I'm also confident that if you put in the focus and the consistency, you will be successful. Now I want you to imagine for a second. Imagine that you stick through with this. You stay focused, you stay consistent, and you put that effort in for, whenever someone gets a job will fluctuate based on so many factors like luck, where you're located, etc. So I won't put a timeline here, but you put in the focus and consistency, and you're at the point where you have you're making good money. You know, you're working a remote job if that's what you wanted. It's definitely what I wanted. I was working a customer service job before where I was making like close to minimum wage, commuting like an hour and 30 minutes just to get yelled at by customers, right? So it's definitely what I wanted. I want you to imagine for a second, you have that. You have the good money. You have the remote lifestyle. You have a good work-life balance, you know? And these are all the things that await you if you put in the time, effort, focus, and consistency. And that's ultimately what I want to build here, right? I want this to be like our little community where we all help each other, support each other, and really help each other get to that next level. That's what I want to build here. And I believe in you. I'm confident you can do it. So keep on putting in that effort. And that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll put my Instagram, TikTok somewhere here. Please do support over there as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Peace.